Okay. Chapter 2 of The Fall of Hong Kong to the Decline of Japan. Wolsey Barracks, Boystown. On December 7th, 1939, our commanding officer made a very distinct announcement. Our unit had been chosen to be part of the 1st Division, and the 1st Division was to sail for England in the next 2 weeks. This was exciting news. The unit was heading for Europe and the war. My excitement was soon dampened and turned into bittersweet. To the next day, we were told that only those over 19 and under 50 years of age will be going overseas with the 1st Division. All of those under 19 would be transferred to the training department of the Royal Canadian Regiment at Wolsey Barracks. Following the unit departure, the next 2 weeks were painful. Instead of for those of us under 19 will watch from the sidelines while mounting into a comrades departing to the homes for their embarkation, they leave and return to the trip to England. Finally, the gut-wrenching day of departure arrived, and our commanders marched gladly out through the camp gates, through the Red Shoulder. Parents of the 1st Division are on their new uniform and with their band playing it a long way to Tipperary. We waved them goodbye and good luck. When they arrived in Europe, the 1st Division wrote a gripping chapter in the history of the Canadian Army. They fought in Sicily, Italy, Holland, and Germany with great division in their threat of Montgomery's British Army. Their war lasted for almost 6 years of continual fighting, and nearly 7,000 of them lost their lives and found a soldier's grave in Europe with a counting they were. After the sounds of the marching feet and music band died away, we snuck back to our empty and silent barracks to the engrossing those who were left behind. Our military family was gone. As registered orphans, we know not what lay in front of us. We soon found out. The willing day, we transferred to the training department at Rosen Barracks were now empty, as the Royal Canadian Regiment had also left for England as part of the 1st Division. The regiment left behind their overage officers and NCOs. These men were veterans of many years of service in the regular forces and were the finest instruction of army. They were to be our mentors. Age and experience were now to teach youth and enthusiasm by pushing counter. At Russia to the members were named Boytown. At the time disciplined by Iron, these rules to the books of returned veterans were soon out as a different band to dress. Unable to return according insults and hurled at us for those first 2 days by the instructors, as we stood rightly at attention, staring straight ahead. Provide us quickly of return attention, stared quickly at any idea that we were soldiers, that said among us things that reminded of them of Napoleon's retreat from Moscow, and that their eyes were commanding to their creations. According to them, even our mothers could not stand the sight of us. It was bad enough to be orphaned from our division, but to be placed under the commanding of the agents had begun our illustrations that began us to. The soldiers rode at 6 a.m. to prayer at 5:30 p.m. There was no time to feel sorry for ourselves. Our instructions for railing advantage idle and division to work on us. Well, further well armed, while the devil had opportunity at Boys Town. They taught us how to wear our uniform and how to polish our boots until they had mere finished the steps. They taught us how to shoot and how to handle the 2-inch motor, the Lee Enfield rifles, and the Bream gun. They taught us how to use the bayonet, drilled us in unarmed combat, and taught us how to use our registration and gas-filled chambers. They taught us the drill manual, our response to training was automatic. About the 2 days which I'm there, up the whole unit was pushed by 20 push-ups or 10 laps around the track. Our 1 hour of drill, which rolled in the peers to show what we learned, that we were not individuals but a unit that must perform as much lengths and allowed. You were never let the team down, but around every Saturday morning at 8 o'clock we were subjects to known as kept by different officers saying a piece over so our audience glance at part of a room at the world and our citizen before inspection in the morning. To solve this problem, we laid our kit in its polished period and exactly ordered the before. Early in the morning, we scrubbed the floor, polished the windows, and polished everything else in sight, including ourselves. By 8 a.m., each soldier stood at attention by his bed. All were ready for inspection. God help anyone whose kit was missing or not polished, well preserved, and presented to exercises. Not only was the subject of energy to storm and mint, and loudly taught he was to set the honorable his comrade down. He would later have shown dangerous criminal behavior for the next week as he bred this amount of potatoes for pride. We are to say that to get our army out of virtual paint as the days turned into weeks and weeks turned into months, as our muscles grew and harder and our skills began to clear, as we are no longer recruits and so we were no longer treated as such. We began to feel we had made the team. One day stands out in memory. Our first day as we assigned a drill. and permitted to sit on the floor to hear a lecture from our colonel from the office of the judge of a general. He held in his a big red book titled King Rules and Orders. He explained that the book is called the KRNGNO for short, and the legal advices for the armed forces, and we're the framework of the justice of the army. He told us that in the future we would learn much about king rules and orders, but for now he wanted us to understand just one important thing. The army had the power to court-martial a soldier, and if it found him guilty of one or two offenses, it has the power to execute him by firing squad. The first offense was disobeying a lawful order from a superior or demonstration of the face of the enemy. The second was rape of any female person of any race, color, or nationality anywhere and at any time. He then said that the army considered the second offense the more serious, and that the army would execute rapists with any means whatsoever. He said that there was absolutely no excuse for rape, and none would be accepted. This was justly silenced as his message received and assembled of male adolescents, so that he and now the army felt that the crimes against women, we got the message very clearly. I thought my mother would have approved. I am glad to say that no Canadian soldier was ever convicted of either crime, and in their entire war, only one soldier was executed, and that was for murder. I would wonder how many cases of rape would have today if the results of the rules and the consequences for violence. The period of training in Boys Town under the watchful eyes of the Royal Canadian Regiment veteran officers, NCO, against refreshment for discipline, and well, a gang of 18-year-old recruits who, from face of Canadian life, there were a lot of rules and regulations. There was a lot of spit and polish and rivers and chills. Sounded at exactly 6 a.m. and the regular light out at exactly 10 p.m. Morning pride was held at 7:30 a.m. Daily orders were recruit the same every faction with a we learned that the broken under the discipline values committed into a unit. Despite the grim objectives of all training, I can never remember having so much sheer fun that took place under a gang at Boys Town in 1940. I entered Rosary Barracks at a teenage high school dropout and emerged as a self-confident young man with a clear mission in life to become a soldier prepared to play a part in Canada's upcoming struggle. At the end of chapter 2. The only one thing I disagreed was questioning an order. I am thankful that the UN was created, that you can question an order from your superior without being executed. And I thank the veterans for making us free, and I'll read chapter 3 tomorrow. This is the ending of day 2 of 11 Days of Remembrance.